And amid the opposition meeting, there's a big buzz. Two tweets from opposition ranks has sparked a big speculation over the name of the opposition alliance. TMC's Derek O'Brien and Congress Party's Manickam Tagore have hinted that the alliance is likely to be called India, which stands for, which is a big pitch that's coming in from the opposition camp, that the pitch is that the opposition unity will be called India, ladies and gentlemen. And the thinking is that it should be called the Indian National Democratic Inclusive Alliance. That is the abbreviation that the United Opposition is trying to push when it comes to taking on the NDA, that the alliance will be called India, which is the Indian National Democratic Inclusive Alliance. I'm joined by my colleague Kamalika Sen Gupta, who's getting us this piece of breaking news. Kamalika, give us the details.
See, the buzz is there in Bengaluru and totally nationally, the buzz is there in the political circles that the new name of this group, the opposition group, will be known as India. So the abbreviations, they are still working on the abbreviations that the sources are telling us. The sources are telling us that the name might be India, and that is the buzz in the entire political circle. So we have two tweets, like very interestingly, Derek O'Brien has tweeted, "Chuck the India." And also we have Congress leader tweeting it on India. So will it be, is the name India? Will the name be India? That is the focus. Sometime from now, in an hour, they'll do a big press conference. That's what we are getting it from the sources. Still, you know, Indian National Democratic, what will be the abbreviations that are still working, that they are still working on? But the buzz is, though they have not officially said anything, but the buzz is that the new group, the opposition group, the name might be India. So it's if it's India, then it's India versus NDA. So definitely all the big leaders, all the top leaders of the opposition, from Mamata Banerjee to Sonia Gandhi, Rahul Gandhi, all of them has sit together. They are working on the name and the buzz. And you know, there's two significant tweets by Derek O'Brien and also by the Congress leader itself puts a big question. It itself has, you know, created this buzz that is the name India.
Right, so Indian National Democratic Inclusive Alliance. We also got a tweet from Priyanka Chaturvedi of the Uddhav faction of the Shiv Sena saying, so 2024 will be Team India versus Team NDA. Chuck de India. Manickam Tagore said India will win. So that is the pitch coming in from the opposition camp, ladies and gentlemen, taking on the National Democratic Alliance. The NDA, led by Prime Minister Modi, will be the loose coalition of these opposition parties called the Indian National Democratic Inclusive Alliance. That is the buzz when it comes to the alliance name. I'm also joined by Pallavi Ghosh on the broadcast. Pallavi, so the NDA versus India, and the key difference in the abbreviations is the word inclusive. That is the pitch coming in from the opposition camp.
The whole name, the acronym, India, I think that's the point also which the opposition parties are wanting to make, that the true idea of India is one in which everyone finds a space, where everyone is included, and therefore this is the real India that we are going to be offering to you. That has really been the crux of whatever the kind of negotiations, talks which have been taking place. It essentially is going to pitch itself opposite the NDA or the BJP, which has always been accused of being disruptive. So here they are saying that we are not divisive, we are not disruptive, we are inclusive, we want to take everyone, and integrative. I think that's the key point as far as this whole acronym about India is concerned, which is being tweeted out immediately by all those leaders, some of whom are not there, some of whom are there. The first one to do so, of course, was the Trinamool Congress's whip in Rajya Sabha, that's Derek O'Brien, and he's been one of the chief negotiators as far as his entire opposition unity meeting is concerned. But I think that's essentially the point which the opposition wants to make. In fact, in a short while from now, Ayushman, that press conference, that joint press conference is going to take place. Clearly on agenda was the name. Clearly on agenda was also what is going to be the common minimum or common manifesto. So these are the nitty-gritty points which are being put out.
Absolutely. We're also joined by Harish, who's reporting from Bengaluru, where that critical meeting is taking place. Harish, so the buzz has now started coming in from top opposition leaders that this alliance will be called India, the Indian National Democratic Inclusive Alliance, emphasizing on the word inclusive.
Absolutely, because several of these parties, remember, have spoken about how this narrative of majority versus minority should end. And perhaps they believe that a name with this kind of a nomenclature will help them take that message forward. This is something that many people had spoken, and perhaps parties that have expressed concern about this narrative of majority versus minority would have pushed for this. And now finally looks like there is a consensus on it. One thing becomes very clear now, that there's a decision on this aspect. Whether there have been other contentious issues that have been decided upon, that's something that we'll get to know in the next few hours, because apart from who the leader will be and the seats, there are issues that need to be decided immediately. For example, parties pushing for a consensus stand on UCC in the parliament, in the next session of the parliament. Has there been a decision on that? That's something that we'll have to see. And the fact that now that this name has been decided, how does the party now, or this alliance now, want to take it forward in terms of how they use it in their campaign and the outreach?
Right. And Pallavi, we've been discussing this before as well. When it comes to the optics, the opposition always tries to put its best foot forward. They have the meetings, they have the rallies, they come out with the big messages. But when it comes to the modalities of the alliance, that's where we see breakdowns. Now, when it comes to this pitch of the Indian National Democratic Inclusive Alliance, one of the key contentious issues, as Harish is also pointing out, is the Uniform Civil Code. Do they sense that beyond this pitch of coming out with the name of the alliance, they can come to a common minimum understanding when it comes to the contentious issues on the road to 2024?
Issue. At the end of the day, the identity of one of the constituents is something which should not be completely lost. So therefore, I mean, if you go by Mr. Kharge's opening remarks, he said we also have to understand that each one of us have our individual ambitions, but we also have to give a big heart and we have to deal with it with an open heart. So I don't think they would want to see the different points of view as far as the UCC is concerned as any kind of a roadblock to an opposition unity. I remember, if you go back to the times of UPA, very often the constituents differed. At the end of the day, sometimes they would reconcile, sometimes they would not reconcile. But here's the problem, you know, Ayushman, because the BJP and the NDA particularly is going to now project itself as a party and a front which really is united truly in every possible way, which means that we do know, for example, that the NDA is going to be united and speak with one voice. They are going to project themselves as one kind of a united front, and they're going to start nitpicking, which they already have on as far as the opposition unity front is concerned, that you have an AAP versus Congress, you have a TMC versus Congress. How can you even call them united? But that's the basic premise which they began their meeting on, is that we can have our individual differences, we can have a different point of view, but that does not mean that at the end of the day, at a macro level, we can project together and fight as one.
Right. I'm also joined by Kamalika Sengupta. She's back with us on the broadcast. Kamalika, that pitch which came in, which is coming in from the opposition camp. Also, I'm sorry to